Ben Quay. My name's Dan Hobbs, how are you?
That's a really odd way to start a video.
Yes, it is.
But it's Lady Justice, and she's on fire for the Gears of War and the Judgment without an E.
Because it's American. Nothing wrong with that, though. You know, do what they want. They're saving time by taking out an E.
Yeah, I'm pressing start.
Press start. This is Gears of War Judgment. It's out now, I suppose, by the time people are actually watching this video. Or the 22nd, if you're in the UK, like us. We're special, because Microsoft sent us this copy.
Thanks, Microsoft.
No
special treatment, though. Just warning.
Yeah. Delivered by Epic, and People Can Fly. You know, they made Bulletstorm, which was a good game. We enjoyed Bulletstorm. I enjoyed Bulletstorm.
I enjoyed kicking people into cactuses and Bulletstorm.
Yes, that's pretty much the response I get from everybody when I say, what did you think of Bulletstorm?
There should be a sequel. Sort it out, People Can Fly. Sequel.
Well, no, they did this instead.
Well,
because
probably
money.
Maybe not the best use of time. We'll see.
As you can see from the screen we're on now.
What's all this new stuff?
New stuff? There is no new stuff. It's all just Gears of War 3 menus.
Well, yeah, but talk me through it.
It's stats and awards. You go.
We're going down. Stats and awards.
It's all like just like Gears of War. That's my bed. There he is with
tacky.
Yep, I'm an assassin. I have lots of achievements.
Oh, don't want to.
Spoilers, story spoilers.
Oh, collectibles, achievements, ribbons, medals.
See, it's
leaderboard, just like Gears of War.
It's just like Gears of War 3. All that UI stuff, it all feels familiar. It all feels the same because it's just like Gears of War 3. I've played 50 campaign sections.
Well done.
Aren't I special?
And there's now customization options.
Again, character setup.
That's where I'm going, man.
When the game lets you. Just like Gears of War 3.
Yeah, man. So it's like Captain Fancy Pants.
It's like they didn't make any effort at all.
Hey. Oh, those. I'm going to make you Bruce Forsyth.
No, that's Ezra Loomis. He's not very nice.
I'm going to make you. Well, I mean, later maybe. Oh, you got to pay. Is that money? Is that the money symbol?
Yes.
The physical money symbol?
Well, Microsoft Space Dollars at least. Oh. That's pretty cool, though. That's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah. Now you're set up.
These, I don't think we're in Gears of War 3.
No. Shall I open it?
Open the Epic Prize Books. You get, obviously, Epic Prize Books for level up, and you get skins and stuff. Every time you level up, you get one of these. Every time you do so many, like a kill count, so you hit a kill count or something in the campaign, you get like a normal prize box which can contain just like, you know, they will contain XP and stuff like that. But you normally get a badass skin or something for Epic Prize boxes.
Just touching. New gun.
It's one of the new ones.
We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later. Versus mode.
Versus mode. Let's have a look. Is it just server?
It's just multiplayer stuff.
Just multiplayer stuff.
You know, but we haven't played that. We don't want to play it until the servers. The game is live because we want to find out what it's like to play with the general populace and
Hobbs
not
wants
just
to lose with the general public.
Yeah, and not just against other video game reviewers.
And then we got co-op mode.
Yes,
which is your horde mode.
Wave after wave of loads of horde,
all the fancy stuff.
Yeah,
turrets and whatnot. That was good fun in number 3. I really enjoyed that.
Well, I can only assume it's going to be the same. I don't know any different, but we will find out. And obviously, what I like to go for games for: lovely story, lovely campaign.
Let's ooh, what's this? 2 campaigns. Let's crack on to this one then.
No. Bad Quay. Go back to Judgment. Judgment is your normal campaign, 5 acts, 6 acts. Lovely job. Aftermath is sort of a bonus. Yeah, it's obviously it's set after Gears of War Judgment because this is the prequel. It's set during Gears of War 3.
So it's a.
You know in Baird and Cole when you're about to attack the island, the final place.
Yeah.
Gears of War 3, and Baird and Cole go, we're going to get some help. You get help.
So they just leave.
And then you find out what they do in Aftermath.
I guess it's a deleted scene almost.
Technically, yes.
Is it something that might have been DLC for number 3, but they'll go like, no, we'll put this in a full game? We don't know. We can only speculate.
It's not very good,
Well, don't say that.
so probably was a deleted scene. They
Don't
were
say
like,
that.
we need to just cram a bit more into Judgment, we'll put that in there and people might buy it. Well, let's play some Judgment.
Oh,
You know, you can play split screen, but we can't be bothered. And you can also play 4-player over the internet co-op.
I'm going with this guy because he looks Russian.
He is Russian. Well, he's Gears of War Russian.
I think there's still. Well, I say I speak this.
Whatever it's the UIC or the IUC or something, you know.
Do you like villas or do you like parks?
Show the opening, and then
Right.
I can talk about the setup for the story.
And I have to play on hardcore because Microsoft likes me violent.
Yes, they told us to play on hardcore, so I played
So
on
what did you play on?
Normal.
Exactly. Nothing hops
when I
like,
review a video game.
nothing
Quite,
hops like more than a weak cup of tea and playing a game on normal.
you say that. It's exactly what I did on Saturday morning when I opened this game up.
Ah, Bruce Forsyth.
So, Loomis, General Loomis. He's putting the Kilo Squad, these 4 guys in front of him, including the Russian guy you're playing as, a red-headed lady and Baird Cole, on trial for doing something bad.
So he's from a different. As far as I gather, he's from a different. Like, because obviously the Cogs are like one continent, one army, and he's from like the Russian equivalent.
Yeah, it's
Another-
basically Cold War stuff
Yeah.
going on here, but they stopped to unite against the Locust. I'm assuming this is all covered in the Pendulum Wars, something that I don't know about.
What, books.
Yes. He's putting you on trial for doing something bad, and the gameplay bits take place in flashbacks as each member of the Kilo Squad gives their testimony, and you find out
Is there a
what
nuke
they
involved?
actually did.
Is there a nuke involved?
I'm not allowed to say for spoilers.
Well, it's Russian, so you know, not being stereotyped, but they like a
not
good
being
nuke.
not being stereotypical.
But they like a nuke.
There we go. As you can tell straight away.
Whoa, colour! Not used to colour. Where's the murky browns?
It looks like Gears of War, doesn't it?
It does. I'm just gonna. Oh dear, there's some. I'm just clipped through that. We won't talk about that.
I would like you, Mr. Kwai, to head over to that glowing skull on the wall.
Why?
This is where the game tries to do something different, which I commend it for. Go to the skull. These are declassified. I call them tweaks, I suppose. Essentially, because the game is being told in flashback from an official perspective, some bits of information will be redacted. Obviously, these are this is bits that have been redacted, and you can unredact them. So the fact that they use Nashers and sawn-off shotguns only was classified.
So they've turned Adobe into a gameplay tweak.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's it feels good. It's because if you're used to playing Gears of War, you just run through with your Lancer and everything's dead and you're happy because you're a terrible person. But adding in these declassified sections makes what is essentially standard Gears of War gameplay a little bit better, a little bit different.
Do you know what I just tried to do?
What's that?
I just tried to change weapon with the D-pad and it didn't work.
To us, that we invented that segue cry. That's very strange. Yeah, they changed. Again, like with these declassified missions, they have changed it up, changed the core gameplay up a little bit, not too much, to make you feel like this is not Gears of War, but enough to.
Oh Jesus!
Oh no, he's down already.
I toned it down. Then they have. I'll try that again. Don't worry. Fear not. Red screen of death. I'm rusty. I haven't played Gears of War for well over a year.
This is true. No, the down on the D-pad is now your TACCOM, not your left bumper. Your left bumper is now your grenades. Your sort of the D-pad being the switch weapons, the Y button is the switch weapon, which is good because it's an action game. You want quick button press.
So that's
to flick
more
your
in
weapon.
line with every other shooter now, isn't it? Well, it is.
Call of Duty.
The standardised controls for.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, D-pad is for stuff that you don't really use often. Which makes sense. Hey, look, some guys from Gears of War 3. It's the blood mounts. You do get the overwhelming sense when you play this game that
I need.
It is just Gears
a
of War
man.
3. You know, but you're stood behind staring at the back of some other guy's head rather than Marcus Phoenix's. You know, it's weird.
Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, it's not a massive change, is it?
Not really, no. Like, I commend people can fly in Epic for going right, Microsoft wants to make this game because money. And we need to try and do something different so people don't automatically slate it for being the same. So they put in those declassified things, which are pretty good. You know, they're pretty good.
Man, emergence holes, that's the thing I'm not used to seeing.
You know, emergence holes are back. Things like that, you know. It's not just Gears of War 3 with a new story. Well, that is, so you've got prize box. But in the same token, it still feels like Gears of War. So, you know, it's not too much of a drastic change. It still feels like a stopgap, really.
Is it? Do you feel like they did this because they didn't know where they could take it?
Well, you know, there's not really. You know, you got to keep it familiar to a certain extent. It's you know, they have, you know, you've got your Lancers, you've got your Sawn-offs and your Nashers. You know, they've also they've got a few new weapons in there. You know, there's a couple of new enemies. There's like one new enemy type, I believe. But you gotta go to the door. Yeah, here we go. You know, and you know they have thrown in like horde mode sections in the campaign as well. You know, the sections are really, really short. Like these levels, like will take literally a couple of minutes. You know, it's about 20 or so of them. You know, maybe not a couple of minutes, but you know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops to complete one chapter of one act.
Oh bloody hell!
You know, it's not such a bad thing because again, it picks up the pace a little bit more. You're moving through the environments a lot quicker. They have thrown in like horde mode sections during the campaign, so some of them are, you know, hunkered down and basically play 3 rounds of horde mode and defend yourself. Which again, it makes it feel really fresh that you're doing this in a campaign setting and not just going loading up the horde mode menu to do it. But it all comes back to it's got the same gameplay, which, you know, for some people that's great, but for a lot of people, you know, it's not going to be, oh my god, I have to buy this new Gears of War game because I played 3 of them before. It's like God of War. Ascension came out last week on the PS3, and it suffers from the same problem of this is a game that we played before, we're going to throw in a prequel to tie us over to the next generation of consoles, and we can do something new and different when we have more power. That's what it feels like, you know.
So it's not a shameless cash in, but it kind of is.
Yeah, it kind of is because, you know, it's just an you know, it's been 2 years since they released Gears of War 3, so that, you know, we have to release a new Gears of War because money. But, you know, people can fly, and Epic Games have done enough, as much as they can, to change up the game. You know, they must have been in a weird situation because they needed to change the game up to make it feel different, but they also didn't want to change the game up too much because it would sort of alienate fans of the series already. So it's a weird, like, I've been sort of thinking about what I'm going to write for my review, which will be up by the time you read this, and it's a weird sort of feeling of, oh man, this is quite cool ideas they got in here, but at the end of the day it's still the same experience I've had 3 times before. That's the problem.
Is it Is it do they back themselves into a corner with making a prequel?
You have to back yourself in the corner because you can't add any huge gameplay advancements really, because then it'll go like you can't add a massive new weapon into the game because it wasn't there in the original trilogy, for example. So, you know, unless you just really don't care about the game's lore, but then again, I think Epic kind of do care about what happens in Gears of War, even though it feels like a bit of a sort of misogynist game, you know, broing out, playing co-op, slicing dudes up. I do think they care about the lore, and you know, they'd have put time into sort of, they brought in Tom Bissell, who's a movie writer, to write. Press up. There we go.
That's the end. End of the chapter.
See, they're quite short.
They are quite short.
So there's about, between maybe 5 and 7 of these sort of length missions per act, and there's 6 acts through the game, going between each different protagonist. But altogether, really, you'll fight. The takeaway from the game is it's Gears of War, but with a few tweaks and a few changes. But at the end of the day, it's still Gears of War, and some people might be bored of that. So I find it quite hard to recommend, really, to everybody they have to play it.
I mean, yeah, like you say, it depends how much of a fan of you, and it is one of Microsoft's last bastions of exclusivity. You got an Xbox because you wanted to play Gears, because you wanted to play Halo.
They've done their Halo,
and
Halo 4 was a thing, a big thing. But there hasn't been much hype around it.
Well, Halo 4, they took the essence of Halo, but they changed it enough to make it feel fresh again, and had a good enough story that it could stand on its own. Whereas this does just feel like they're just like a stopgap, like you said.
Yeah.
And unlike other prequels before, like Halo Reach, where you knew what was going to happen at the end, Reach was going to fall, but it was how you got there and the impact of that. Whereas this just feels like it doesn't really matter.
No, when you get to the end, there's little to no payoff whatsoever. Reach did a really good job of building up to a holy shit moment, and this doesn't have that at all. I like the way the story is delivered through the flashbacks, and people they are narrating what's going on. You do the thing that Grand Theft Auto sort of 4 sort of introduced of, if you die and replay the same section, you're given multiple lines of dialogue to keep it feel fresh. So they've tried their hardest to make it feel fresh, but there's not so much you can do with a chainsaw bayonet and a cover system like this. Really,
is it time to go away and go? We need to have a think about what direction we want to take this, or do you think they will just come back with the next Xbox with Gears of War 4? Still with the same amount of bombast? And
I think I would say, because I'm not a massive fan really. I think the games are great, but I'm not a huge fan of the games. I've played all of them. I think they should go back to the drawing board and think, what can we do with this new hardware to make it amazing, like to really blow people out of the water. Really change it up a huge amount to really make it feel goddamn fantastic.
Oh dear.
Yeah. On that note, I'll wrap this thing up. Our coverage for this, this video, you're watching this video, it's part of our coverage for
Thanks.
this. Yeah. The review of the single player will also be live by the time you're watching this. I'll put a link in the show notes, in the notes underneath in the underbar. No multiplayer portion on that yet, though, because, like we said before, we want to try the game out with the general public and not just with the reviewers. We want to see how, if the servers crash and fail, like they did with a certain other EA game this time last week, we want to. We will score that. We score the game appropriately then. So you'll get a single player, no score on that. Wednesday, Thursday, I'll update my review with multiplayer, all about the multiplayer, and if it's any good or not. Then you'll get the final score. Then we may come back and do some Hard Reset plays Gears of War Judgment multiplayer. Maybe if there's anything new and awesome to show off. Another short level.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Obviously, you can keep all up to date on that by clicking subscribe on down on the bottom of the video, and the likes and the comments. always help us, because we need the subscribers. We want the subscribers. We want to give stuff to you.
You give back to us, we give back to you. The bigger we get, the better we get. Team
Yes.
effort, guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Yeah.
team effort, haven't we got something nice to maybe throw their way? Some sort of prize box?
Ah, yes, an epic prize box. See, epic game.
No, it's done.
We have a code for Gears of War.
The original.
The original Gears of War, not Judgment, sadly. We can't give that away. But we can give away the original Gears of War 1 on the Xbox 360. You can download that on us for free. And do you want to find out how? You got to follow us on Twitter. At
There'll be details forthcoming, and I think that's fair to say.
HRDRST on Twitter.
But
And you'll be able to,
keep your Twitter eyes peeled.
yeah, the ears to the ground of the Twitterverse. You also get 2 days of Xbox Live with that as well.
Ooh, fancy. So you
So-
can play the original Gears of War multiplayer with no one.
Pretty much, yes. Pretty much. On that note, that's it. Final words, Quai.
Prequel. It's alright. It's Gears of War. It's alright. Get on with it.
Insightful, as always.